What's up, everyone? Cardfight Galactic Hero here, and today I'm bringing you my Cardfight Vanguard Galactic Hero deck profile for June of 2023. As you know, today is Friday, which means tonight is Vanguard night, but it's also June 2nd, meaning that today is set 10. I think it's Dragon Masquerade pre-release today at my local card shop, Lost Treasures. So I'll be going there in about a couple hours, about like 5 or so hours from now. So I wanted to kind of bring you guys my deck profile since I didn't do it early in the week, because last week I was just busy with homework and stuff mostly. So I didn't get to do it before then, so I'm doing it today. And then I'll be kind of vlogging my experience while I'm there and kind of showing you guys what packs I open, any cards from packs I open, and all that kind of stuff. So you guys will be seeing that as well. But this is going to be a very weird experience. I've never been to pre-release before, so I'm very excited. But I'm here to show you guys my Galactic Hero deck profile that I'm gonna be using with me. It's not the deck. Well, it's the deck I play the most, since it's the only deck that I already have this completed. But obviously, there's some changes to it that I'll make mostly with the trigger lineup that I just haven't been able to make since I don't have the triggers I need for it. So the deck will be changing at some point in the future, but I don't know when or how it's going to change up too much. But yeah, without further ado, I'll kind of show you guys what the deck what I'm running and what the deck does for the most part. But yeah. So without further ado, let's get started. For our ride deck for the grade 1, we're running one copy of Galactic Hero purely Agno. This is our starter, just like because that's Galactic Hero name, and it's a baby. That's our starter. This generic going second, you draw a card. Next up, we won the one copy of Galactic Hero Architect Puzzle, or how to pronounce his name. What it does is when it's placed on Vanguard Circle, you search your deck for up to one base card, which is basically the main gimmick of the deck, and you add it to your hand, shuffle the deck. It also has a skill on Rearguard where continues on Rearguard Circle. During your turn, if it boosted that unit with hero in its card name, it gets plus 5k. Which doesn't really come up since you only run the one and it's usually just in your drop. You don't ever do anything with it on a regular circle. It's just kind of something you used to get a base unit when you're riding upon going first this deck. I do go first this deck a lot since I want to get the base set up as quickly as possible. So this is a going first deck for me, since I like getting my base set up on turn 3. Because it's just, to me, it's like whatever. But yeah, you just kind of just help you get your base. Next up, we run a copy of Galactic Hero Wired Costin. His skill is active on Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, you can scout a card with hero in its card name by placing it under your base unit and drawing a card, which is pretty cool. Also, when he's on Vanguard Circle, auto when he's switched during a battle phase, he gets plus 5k at the end of turn, which is super helpful with this deck. With one of your grade 1s, she's able to target 2 heroes and switch their positions around. So he's like helps you get like 4 attacks in. She helps you get 4 attacks in. But with him, it also gets like a really good power boost if you pump him up a little bit more. I did come down since originally I was running like more copies of him, but I come down to 2 copies since I am running another card in here that does basically what he does just continuously. That I was told to kind of cut down on. Next up, we're running the main grade 3 you riding is Galactic Hero Unite Dinos. And what his skills is continuous on Vanguard Circle. All your former rear guards with hero in their card names get plus 5k during both players' turn, which is like super cool. So it turns all your 10k units into 15k units, meaning your opponent has to either have to pump their units up or attack with heavier hitting units in order to get over your hero, which is super cool. And on top of that, they also give you like your all your units, even if you don't hit triggers, aim for 15k plus their own power boost they get usually. So it's super helpful that he gets like have a just really cool effect. And his secondary effect is auto when he attacks. You get you attack and you have an order card, and your order zone has a base unit, which is kind of like your main order. You can combo blast 1. To the end of battle, it gets plus 15k power, and if your order zone has 3 or more base units, he gets an additional crit, which helps you mostly pumps them up to a 2800 attacker with 2 crits. Most times you can get the 3 bases pretty easily, but sometimes you find that 3rd base can be a little difficult, which is why I'm running multiple cards in the deck that help me get to the 3rd base. Helps me get bases 2 and 3, and even 4 sometimes. But like mostly you want to see through with this deck. And I'm like running like 5 ways. I'm running 6 ways to get to bases. I'm running obviously 1 architect. I'm running like I think like 5 other cards to help me get to bases as well. So it's like it's an always not guaranteed to get to bases, but you're guaranteed at least 1 base, which is your right line. The other 2 you can usually get pretty easily as well. But he's just a really cool card. I like him a lot. He's actually the reason I want to build this deck, since I like the whole hero aesthetic. And because obviously the channel name is called Galactic Hero, so it kind of was suiting for me to play a deck called Galactic Hero as my main deck. That's it for the right deck. I love Galactic Heroes. They're so much fun to play. For the grade 3s, we're running 3 more copies of Unite Dinos, since he is your main Vanguard and you do want to Persona ride with him continuously every single turn, which is super cool. So we are running 3 more copies of Unite Dinos. And the newest card I put in the deck is 2 copies of Advent Robust. It's a grade 3 that has a skill when placed on regular circle, you combat once to check for an order card, reveal it, and if your order zone has a card with the same name, put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. He basically helps you get to your additional base units by having 1, since you always have 1 in your order zone. He helps you get to copies 2 and 3 if you need to. Normally with him though, one of them usually gets soul charge, the other one usually gets to my hand, so it's like I usually only have the 1, which is like cool, fair enough. But he's also not a hero, which kind of does suck, since he doesn't have the power boost. But it's like whatever. He's just an additional like 13k grade 3. On top of that, he also has another skill which pumps him up even more so. Is that when he attacks, you can choose two set orders, which is basically your bases, with the same card name from your order zone, and then if you choose 2 of them, he gets plus 10k into the end of the battle, which means that he becomes a 2300 attacker, which is super cool, since he basically helps you push for damage to like make sure your opponent either have to drop more guard to guard him, or to help you get over a bigger number of attackers, even if your opponent hit a trigger on grade 3, which is super cool. I was told to run like 1 to 2 copies of them. I refer to 2 was this perfect number. Running any more 2, then what kind of screw up the next count, since you want to run more heroes than anything else. So I ran the 2 copies just for fun. And like I said, usually one of them gets soul charged, the other one usually gets to my hand. So it's kind of just like a thing where I have to kind of know where they both are at all times, kind of prevent it. And before moving forward, we do got to discuss the base unit. So for our grade 2s, the first card we're talking about is our hero base Agnes, or AEGIS. I'm not sure what it stands for, but it's whatever. It's a grade 2 set order that when it's placed in the order zone, you search you get the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 3 hero cards with hero in their card name. You can add up to 1 to hand and scout the others, meaning that if I reveal 3 heroes, I can add 1. I would have to add 1 and scout the others, or I can add up to 1. It means I don't have to choose any. I can scout all 3 if I want to. I can scout 2 other cards, and then the other one goes to hand. But normally it's deck though, I don't ever usually hit 3 heroes, or if I do, I usually try to add the grade 3 I need, or the grade 2 I'm gonna talk about after this card. But most times though, you only ever hit 2 heroes, so like you usually scout both of them, since they're usually like the grade 2s. So you scout them so you can have them scouted for help you with guarding or just calling other units. So with this deck, you don't really need a hand, since this kind of makes it so that you can always guard units, both to guard with and to call. Its second skill is in the order zone active. You can rest this card and discard a card from your hand to choose a scouted card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard and call it to Vanguard circle. Basically this skill is free, since you have you're running 7 units. I think 6 or 7 units in this deck that basically does make that discard basically free for you. So it's like the discard doesn't matter, since it's basically free with the next card I'm gonna talk about. So it's like that skill doesn't really matter, and it's actually very helpful. Though it just represents field presence. And its final skill is auto zone. When your opponent when your unit is attacked, you can soul blast 1, the rest of this unit, and choose 1 scouted card and call to Guardian Circle, which is super cool, since one of your grade 2s does become a 15k shield when placed on Guardian Circle, So you want to scout him. You want to scout as many copies of him as possible, just so he's always let you always have 15k shields whenever you need to, which is always super helpful. You run 4 in this deck because you want to get at least 3 of them, but 4 is kind of optimal since this card is the most important card in the deck. On top of that, the more base you have, the more you can guard, the more guarding you have, and the more units you can call. So it's like the more the better, since it's like kind of this card is like your main like go-to card that you need in this deck for like most of your units. Need at least 1 set order in your order zone. And what's the required basis? So it's like this helps get Path 4 since it is kind of like your main go-to thing. That was kind of like a field spell that's stackable. So it's like cool. I run 4. Next up, we're running the newest hero card, Galactic B Hero Bold Salos. It's a grade 2, and what its effect is auto when this unit is discarded from your hand due to the ability of a base card in your order zone. You can counterblast 1, call him to rearguard circle, and then choose a card with B Hero in his card name and your drop and scout it. Also, I should probably let this say this beforehand, but all the Galactic Hero monsters are now treated as Galactic B Heroes since they also worked with the hero cards from like other formats in Vanguard. So all the Galactic Hero monsters are technically treated as Galactic B Heroes, which is why his effect works for any Galactic Hero monster currently. So even though I don't run Galactic B Heroes in this deck, except for like him, like one of the cards says Galactic B Hero in the card name. But since they're all treated as B Heroes instead of Galactic Hero or just regular hero, his effect still goes off the triggers to get them scouted, which is super cool. But I don't like having the B in the name because obviously I like them matching my channel name because it's just the way I am. I want them to say Galactic Hero so I can say obviously that it's spread by my channel because I'm just weird like that. But yeah, he's super cool since he makes your the discard effect of your base basically free by getting both him to the field and getting another unit discarded, which means basically you get 2 cards for the price of 1 discard. I mean, technically you're getting 2 extra bodies on board plus another hero scouted to replace the one you called from your base. So basically, like you kind of going +1, I think. That's how that works out. Since like you're basically getting 2 bodies and another scouted card, so basically like you're technically playing for free. So it's like cool. It's really awesome having him. His second effect is continuous rare circle during your turn. If you have an order card, if your order zone has 2 more base units, he gets plus 10k, which is like he becomes a 20k beater, and if he's in front, he becomes 2500, which is basically rivaling your Vanguard on Persona Ride. No, yeah, he's actually bigger than your Vanguard on Persona Ride actually, because even on Persona Ride, your Vanguard's only 23, while he goes up to I think he goes up to 35. So yeah, he's basically like bigger than your Vanguard most of the pretty much basically all the time, which is like super cool. Next card is Galactic Hero Flatten Surfery. I don't know. I'm really bad pronouncing names, but it's fine. I run more copies of her. Instead, I also run 1 copy of him because White Custom. Because originally I was running 4 of him and like 2 of her. No, I was running like 3 of him and 2 of her. But I was told to do it the other way around, to run 2 and then 3, or run 4 of her because I need 1 more. Because basically she is him, but all the time. Since he gains plus 5k whenever he switched, she gains 5k just by having an order zone, just having a card in my order zone, which basically means she's always a 15k by herself, while he has to be switched or become a 15k. So it's like you run more copies of her since she does what he does, but all the time. It's just like cool, whatever. She's a lot better anyways. And also, her first skill is that, she has a skill that when she's placed on rearguard circle, you can combat 1, choose one of your opponents from her rear guards in the same column and retire. Basically means that you can target spot removal any rear guard you want in the front row if your opponent has a really annoying front row rear guard that you don't like and want to get rid of and they're protecting it. You can just basically sit and tell them that you're retiring rate just by calling her in the zone in that column. Super cool. I like her a lot. She's good, really good for getting rid of both potential annoying rear guards. So your opponent won't be able to intercept with them, or if they have really annoying effects that you want to get rid of. And she's also a 15k beater when she's on field by herself, which is always super nice to have. And for the last Grade 2 Galactic Hero monster we're running 3 copies of Galactic Hero, Rampart Aspid. I do not pronounce his name. Aspida, I'm guessing. I don't know. Basically what he does is when he's scouted, he soul charges 1, which helps you build soul up for your Grade 1. And for you also to make sure that your base always has you always have soul for your base to call units to Rear Guard Circle. And when he's placed on Guardian Circle, and you have a order, and your order zone had a base unit, and you have a unit with hero in his card name, Vanguard with hero in his card name, he gets plus 10k. He gets plus 10k shield, which basically means he's always at 15k shield. No matter where he is, I mean, if you end up with him, he gets plus 50. He becomes 15k. Or if you scouted him during your opponent's your opponent's attacking, he becomes 15k, which is always super nice to have. 15k shields lying around for any reason, always super nice, super helpful. Just all around a really good card. The soul charging thing does kind of backfire sometimes when you soul charge your over trigger or your backup Grade 3. But it's like whatever. I don't really care too much about it. It's just really good for to help me get soul. Another card that makes your discard for your base or anything really free is 3 aiding monster, or I call it penguin. I just call it penguin because that's just, I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I just call it penguin. Basically, when this card is auto, when it's discarded from your hand during your turn, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add to one set order from among them to your hand and shuffle the deck. Basically, this card helps you dig for your base units. It almost never triggers for me because I'm not likely to bat this card. But if you are in your right phase, discard it, you get search. If you discard it off your base, you get a search. So it's always really good. You discard it for a perfect guard. No, a perfect guard. Yeah, if you basically discard cards in your turn at any point in time, you get to check top 5 for a base a set order with basically your base. So it's always really good. On top of that, him on Grade 1 turn, you discard him and you're at the Grade 1. You trigger his effect first to search the top 5 cards of your deck first before searching for your base, just so you can have this way you could possibly see if you get the base either way. Cause either way you're guaranteed at least 1 base with the Grade 1. But this effect is a lot better, so you don't have to shuffle. You can check top 5 first, don't hit a base, and go through your deck instead of having to check top 5, search your deck, get a base, shuffle the deck, and then check top 5 and shuffle again. It just helps you just do 1 shuffle instead of 2 shuffles. Really good. I learned it the hard way because I was doing it the other way around where I would search for a base first and then shuffle, then check top 5, then shuffle again. And also, it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I have to chain everything. I can do it any order I want to, so and the order doesn't really matter. So I did that in that order because it was just a lot easier for me just to have to shuffle and waste more time shuffling cards. For Grade 1, this is our last Galactic Hero monster, but she's probably the most important one. We have 4 copies of Galactic Hero Direct Feral, or how to pronounce her name, I don't really know. She's the most important one, and she's probably she's my second favorite hero because she's very pretty, and I do like the pink color and the blue background of her. But basically what she does is she's the Grade 1 on Vanguard Center Rear Guard Circle. At the end of battle, your Grade 3 Vanguard attacked. Hero in his card name attacked. You can Soul Blast 1 and rest his unit, target up to 2 rear guards in the same column of each other, and swap their positions. That's all she does. Basically means that if you have her, your Vanguard with a piece of card and soul, and you have just take 2 other units. 2 units in the same column. Basically means that what you would normally do if your field looks something like this. I'm just take another unit. I don't really care who it is. So basically, it feels looks like this most of the time. You can attack with this unit first. If it doesn't hit, then you attack with your Vanguard. Reveal any triggers, and then her effect will trigger. Just rest her to Soul Blast 1, and then you'll target these 2 and swap the position around. Helps you get your 4th attack in for 1 and 2. Helps you get 4 attacks in during your turn most of the time, a lot of the times, which is always super helpful since most times you want to pressure your opponent out of resources for guarding because most time, you know, it's just helpful so your opponent has the cards to play with. But yeah, she's really important. And most time, if your opponent does something try Rigas, they'll probably try to hit her, which means that you want to scout as many copies of her as possible, or hold as many to the hand as possible, so you always have them to scout or to call out when your opponent gets rid of them. It's always super cool card for me. I like her a lot. She's probably my favorite. She's my second favorite hero in the deck. And running four copies, running less than 4 copies to me is kind of pointless, but it's whatever. Do whatever you want. I like running 4 copies since she is kind of one of the most important heroes in the deck, other than your Vanguard. And finally, running 4 Planet Wall Dragon, because it's a perfect Sentinel. You can just, when your opponent attacks, you can kind of just call him to Ruga Circle, discard a card, and target one unit cannot be hit. Or if you have your hand has I think 2 other cards, you don't have to discard a card, which is also super cool. It means he's basically free. This is really good, perfect card for anything that you don't want to hit over, especially if you want to hit like an over trigger and you can't block it. You just hit that and drop the perfect guard, so you won't lose the game. As for triggers, my trigger lineup is a rainbow. I do run rainbow triggers in this deck just because I bought the deck and didn't really have an idea for the trigger lineup, so they kind of just gave me whatever triggers they had left. They had on them in the deck since I did buy the deck for my friend when I first went to Vanguard Night. There's a guy there who so happily had Galactic Heroes, so I just bought his for like $30 to $40, and he basically sold basically everything in the deck. So for heal trigger, running 4 heal triggers, being Alter Rate Spirit Dragon, and there are 4 heal triggers. This for heal recovery. We're running 4 draw triggers and Aberrant Gleam Dragon, and there are 4 draws. We're running 4 crits, one being Patrol Robo Decacop, or whatever. Just like cool, whatever. As a ability, which I didn't know it had an ability. Run one of him, and then 3 copies of Star Aggression Dragon. I need a 4th one to replace this card, but I don't have a 4th one. Running 3 front triggers, being Transforming Heavy Machinery, Heavy something. I did not pronounce that word, but running 3 front triggers. And then obviously the one over trigger, which is really busted. And Star Dragon, Deity of Infinitude. Basically what the card does is when it's revealed, you target one unit, give 100 million power. And it is revealed during your drive check, against an additional effect of doubling the power and a crit of all your front row rear guards, all your front row units until the end of turn. Which basically means if you give the 100 million power to a front row unit, it becomes 200 million. It doubles the 100 million plus whatever power it already had, and becomes doubles all of your Vanguard, all your units, front row units, power and crit. Which basically means that your Vanguard can potentially attack for like 6 damage in a single go, which I have done once before, where I have revealed a crit trigger, gave the critical to my Vanguard. Since my opponent was taking the attack, I went critical to my Vanguard power somewhere else. And then with the over trigger, it's doubled my Vanguard's crit. Basically means that my Vanguard's already at 2 crit when I did the skill. And then with the crit trigger, it becomes 3. And then with this, it basically becomes 6, which means that was a game over from there. On top of that, it also gets removed from the game whenever you reveal it. And for a check, means drive check or damage check, it gets revealed. Means that either it doesn't go to your hand or damage zone, because it kind of gets removed from the field from play. So super nice for saving you. But yeah, that's it for my Galactic Hero deck profile. Overall, when it comes to the trigger lineup, I would probably think about cutting down the draw triggers and running more front triggers. So with this deck, you do want to have more frontal power, since you're switching your units around a lot. With this deck, to kind of get the 4 Texan, so you want to run more front triggers. So I'm thinking about cutting down some of the draw triggers and running more front triggers in the deck. As for the deck itself, I like it a lot. I will be cutting down the Penguin down to probably like 2 copies and running another of the grade 2 of this grade 2 by cutting down 1 Penguin. Just because I think that she's probably the most important card, or that, or become down the wide Costin down to 1 copy in the right deck, and just winning 4 copies of her because she's kind of the most important card in the deck. But this deck I am bringing to Vanguard on night with me tonight and see how it runs, and I will be telling you guys how it goes at the end of the night. Hopefully, I don't end up losing too badly because I don't think I'm going to win. Because I have never been to a pre-release before and I don't know nothing about the set that we're opening up since I literally just found out about it like a couple weeks ago. So I don't know what the set is, and since I have never been to a pre-release before, I don't really know what I'm doing. But from what I was told, it's $20 like for the entry fee and tournament stuff, and then like there's also like 2 playmats they're raffling off, or one of them's being raffled off, the other one's being given to the first place winner. So, and since I've never won a Vanguard night, I've only topped once and I lost the other times I've been there. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But that's it from my Galactic Hero deck profile. Hope you really enjoy. Remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section. And remember, we're trying to reach 500 by the end of the year. So please subscribe to the channel because we're trying to reach 500. And glow the Galactic Federation. But that's all I got for now. Until tomorrow, this is Jackson signing off.